it feels hypocritical if we don't try to save our families
Yeah.
and the people that are in our circle. And we could try until the wheels fall off. You'll be trying to help them, but they'll also try to pull you down because they're not ready to change.
At that point, when that happens, that's when you take your hands off of it. You did your part. You tried.
Them, was there a point in your life where your relationship just didn't work out? It wasn't jiving. There was some pain there.
Well, there was a point where I had no contact with either one of them. My oldest daughter, she stopped contact with me. My youngest daughter, we went almost 7 years without contact at all.
So being a
Yeah, we.
teenager, what was that like for you? What, telling your mom that you were pregnant?
I ain't tell her.
Yes.
My
I'm
grandmother
waiting
told
for
me.
you to say you didn't tell her.
My grandmother is the one who actually took me to the pediatrician because they noticed I wasn't getting cycles. I used to lie and say I would get. Let me tell you how dumb I was. I would take the pad and put red food coloring in my pad and be like, "Look, I didn't get my cycle, child." Just believe me. And
You
my
were a
mama,
rebel.
yes, I was, girl. But I can't think I was pregnant though. I just knew I wasn't getting no cycle, and I was happy about it. And my grandmother is the one who took me to the pediatrician, and he took one look at my stomach and said, "She's pregnant."
Oh
No,
Lord.
and he was like, "Well, what are these stretch marks?" I said, "I'm fat," but I was actually almost 6 months pregnant. I had no clue. No clue. And when he confirmed it, oh my God, I cried. I think I was crying more because I didn't want to disappoint my grandmother. At that point, I didn't care what my mama thought. I didn't want to disappoint my grandmother. But, she told me, she said, it's okay, mistakes happen. And, I just crawled in her bed and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. And then my mama came home. I just knew she was going to whip me. She didn't.
She knew what.
She was just like, so are you keeping this baby? And I'm like, I ain't keeping no baby. I don't want no baby. So I was supposed to get an abortion. And when it came time to get one, I was like, I ain't doing that. And I took the money and went and got my hair done and bought some clothes. And then I was supposed to give my baby to my aunt and uncle because they wanted a baby. My aunt couldn't have kids anymore. So I was going to give her to them. And then at the last minute, I was like, nah, I ain't doing that because it's going to come out 20 years later that you ain't my cousin, you my daughter. And I'm glad that the way my family set up, yeah, that would have happened. And I'm glad I kept her. I kept her. And, I graduated from high school. It wasn't easy at all. It wasn't no cakewalk. But, I did what I had to do because I had a point to prove at that point. Because, one of my aunts was like, oh, you going to have 5 kids right behind each other and you ain't going to graduate high school. Baby, you a lie. Let me show you. I graduated with a 3-year-old on my hip. High school on
Amen.
time. Hmm.
Amen to
And
that.
I went to college. I got my master's degree. I got my bachelor's degree first, got a master's degree, and a billion certifications. Just, but I ain't let no baby stop me. I ain't let no kids stop me. Mm-mm. I went out and got it because I wanted to show, not only the people who were naysaying, but to show my girls, don't let nothing stop you from doing whatever it is that you want to do in life. But you have to do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do.
True, true, determined rebel, and I love that spirit because that spirit in you remained, and it
Oh,
helped shape the woman you are today. You always knew that anything anybody
yeah, it
said that
actually
you
did.
were, you knew. Yeah, you actually did it, and you knew you weren't that, and you knew you weren't going to do that, and you did the opposite. And I've
I
seen
sure
somebody.
did.
There's this guy on Instagram. I can't remember his name, but when I find the video, I'll share it with you. He said parents have to be careful. Parents, aunts, grandparents, we've got to be careful what we speak over our kids.
Yes.
Words are powerful. So when you sit there and you say,
Yes, they are.
oh, you're a liar, you're going to be a liar, you're going to be this. You're putting something already in the atmosphere. That's you
Yeah,
sowing a seed. That's you
you
putting a
are.
seed and you're watering it every day that you say something negative towards your
Exactly.
child.
Yes. Yes. That is
So
absolutely correct. So we have to watch our words. Our
yeah,
words have power.
our words have power.
Yeah.
And it goes back to you and the guided journaling. And I talk about journaling all the time. That's how, when I wrote my first book, it was supposed to be the book about me being molested, but it ended up being a journal because as I was writing the book, I don't know what bust in my head, but I was writing. Something just went off. Like I was writing a journal for myself and it was healing. And I didn't know that
Mm,
I needed healing in that moment as I was writing the
yeah.
book. And you talk about guided journaling
Yeah.
and the importance and power that it carries.
Yeah. And it
And
does.
as a tool to identify and rewrite toxic patterns,
Mm-hmm.
you talk about it and you connect how guided journaling plays a role. Could you walk us through how somebody can start practicing guided journaling and what benefits they might gain from it?
You can start by going on my website and buying one of mine.
Go
I
on her
have,
website, buy one, please.
I have my, see, a lot of people don't understand what guided journaling is. Guided journaling is you answering specific prompts pertaining to something specific so that you don't veer off into something else. So, for example, I have a guided journal on self esteem. Everything in that guided journal that you're going to answer has something to do with self-esteem. You're going to get, prompts, room to write, affirmations, to keep you focused on self-esteem, whatever that might look like to you. And I hate to toot my own horn. No, I don't. But my daughter did the self-esteem one, and she was like, "Mama, I couldn't even finish this because I didn't want to answer some of these questions." Go answer them. It's you telling your truth. And people are so amazed at what comes out. It's one thing to talk, but when you're actually writing, physically writing and answering these prompts, a lot of things are going to come out of you that you didn't even know were there. And that's the beauty of guided journaling for me. And you just start where you are. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. You don't have to be at a certain point in life or doing something. No, start where you are and just be honest. As long as you're willing to be honest with yourself, then your healing can begin. You can't be in your journal line, or you ain't gonna never get. You're never gonna
Oh,
overcome whatever it is you're trying to overcome. You have to be honest, and sometimes the truth does hurt. And you're gonna cry, and you're gonna want to throw the journal across the room and say, "Forget this. I'll go back to being this." But then you're gonna pick it up again, and it's gonna help because it's a total release. It is. And the benefits are you're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're not going to have stress written across your forehead, because you're unpacking. You're going to feel lighter. Literally, you're going to feel lighter. Like you could walk on air. It's a very, I can't even describe the words of it. I love it. And I recommend it to everybody. I don't care what stage of life you're in, what you did, how you did it. Go do some guided journaling. It will help you.
I love guided journaling. And you just summed it all up. And then I stopped because I'm like, I don't know how else you can sum this up. It's you facing, like literally, it's you facing your inner self and being honest.
Yeah.
And when you start journaling and you start with the mindset of I'm going to release and be authentic and be honest because it's just me and these
Yep.
pages and my
Yep.
thoughts. Let me tell you,
Yep.
when you go back and you read what you wrote,
Oh my goodness. That part right there. That I think that's the best part. That is the best part. I remember when I first started guided journaling, and I was still iffy, but I was doing it anyway. And some time had passed, and I went back to look at what I wrote. When I tell you, my handwriting was different. You could see the anger in my writing, and some of the stuff I was writing. I'm like, oh my god, did I say that? Did I write that? Yes, you wrote that. Yes, this is how you felt back then. You could see the growth, And that is you know how when, especially us, you know, when we lose a couple of pounds and somebody else can see it first. Like,
Yep.
oh, you done lost some weight. Well, I don't see it. I don't
I-
feel like it. That's the same feeling you get when you are journaling and go back and read what you wrote. That's the same feeling. Like,
Let girl, I thought I was the only one. I was saying that when I went back and read my book that I wrote,
mm-hmm.
I had to cut. I came raw and authentic, and I had to go back to my 10-year-old,
Yes,
6-year-old, 12-year-old self. When I read it back, I said, that's not me." I said, who is that person? That's not me.
exactly.
That's not.
Exactly.
I was surprised. I'm reading it back,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you were like that. I was like, how did you let? Because now you're a new person. You're healed, and you're looking back at it, and you're
Yes,
like,
I was just
wow,
about to tell you. Yeah. It's
how
like you're peeling back layers. I
pulling
always
back
tell people to
layers.
picture an onion. You are peeling layers. You're peeling off all that crusty stuff on the onion. You're peeling layer by layer by layer by layer until you get to you. And that's who the real you is. When once you pluck off all that stuff that happened and or what you did, you just take all that off. You get literally naked. You get naked.
And I love how you use the onion because while you're peeling back those layers of the onion, don't tell me that nobody cries when they're peeling onions. If you don't cry, something wrong with you,
Something is definitely wrong.
right? So it's the same thing. You're peeling back those layers and you're crying.
Yeah.
But then when
Yes.
you get to the parts of the onions and you're cooking them up in your recipe or whatever, and you start eating it, that onion tastes good. So it's
Exactly.
the
But you
same,
had to peel off all that crap before you got to the part you needed. It
right?
is. It is
So
the same thing.
I love how you use the onion because that was a perfect like that was perfect because while you're peeling, you're crying, and that's
Yeah,
exactly like how guided journaling is.
it is.
You're stripping yourself away to see what's really buried on the inside.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And as you're journaling, you're figuring out how to root it out. Where did it stem from? It's so funny because when I started journaling, when I wrote my first book, things just started to come to me about generational things that were passed down about my mom. And it helped me to understand my
Mm-hmm.
family and my mother better. And it helped
Mm-hmm.
me to give her a different type of grace and love.
Yes. Yes.
Honey, let me tell you, when you're breaking generational cycles and you're actually doing the
Mm-hmm.
work to figure out what is in your DNA,
Yep.
it helps you to love people in your family the way that they need to be loved
Yep.
because they
That is
never
true.
received it in that way. And sometimes what they're looking for is that, and our parents, sometimes what people, I don't know if anybody can agree with me on this, but our parents act like the child.
Baby. Baby.
If you can agree with me, then you know, and you will actually investigate and be like, why do they act like a child? Because their childhood was stolen from them.
Yep. Pretty much.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
And your personal journey going through mental breakdown, a toxic marriage, and the loss that you describe as being incredibly powerful. How did
Mm-hmm.
those experiences shape your understanding of self reclamation and the importance of sharing your story?
It confirmed for me that, I didn't have to live that life. I didn't have to have it attached right here and here and here and here. I could rewrite my story any way I want to,
Mhm.
and I chose to rewrite my story this way. And being transparent about it is I want to show everybody else. If little old Shawnti from Beaumont, Texas can do it, you can do it too. Like there's no excuses. There's no excuses at all.
I love how you said that as well, that we wear it. We wear it
Yeah,
and
we
people can
do.
see it. People, there's
Yeah.
certain people that can detect it because I say when we start relationships, especially when we're getting together with a partner, we forget that they come with their own traumas. And we,
Don't they? Yes.
like one time my partner said to me, why did you stay with me? Why didn't you just leave me? And I'm like, because God called me in your life. And I understood that the moment that I was actually going to leave and tap out. And
Yep.
people may not understand it, but I understood it because God gave me that vision, not anybody else. And I had to understand that
Exactly.
you came with your own traumas. I came with my own. And once I understood that we just stepped into a relationship without really getting to know each other and asking the right questions,
That part, yes. Yep.
and we never talked about what does healing mean and what does it look like, we
Yep.
created chaos. So once you heal yourself and you approach things differently, things just start changing. Even the people around you, and you don't even realize it just starts, it just happens even 10 years down the line. We're like, when did this happen? I didn't see this happen. It just, when did you
Mm-hmm.
start reading the Bible? When did you start praying? I didn't know that you knew how to pray. Things just start changing. Listen, and you're like, what? Did I just hear you praying in the bathroom? I've never heard you do that.
Right. I
Things
never
just
heard you
start
do that
changing,
before. Yeah,
right?
it does. It does. But it
So
requires us to be open.
open.
And a lot of us are not open. You know, and I can attest to that because back before I started my healing journey, I couldn't see nothing. But now I can read energy. I can look at somebody and be like, okay, no, we're not hanging, no, not
Yep.
you. Or I
Yep.
can look at somebody and be like, okay, yeah, you could. And it's not judging, it's that I could feel it. I could feel it.
Yep.
And I couldn't feel that before. It's just a certain energy that I'm attracted to. And if you don't have that energy, we can't hang.
We can't hang. We can't hang.
Mm-mm.
And I love that you said that talking about energy because when we're healing, we got to be careful with the energy we let in
Yes, indeed.
because it can leave a dent in that healing process.
Absolutely. Because people are attracted to light. But then
Yeah.
some people will come to your light and try to dim it. And you can't
Yes.
let that happen. Hmm.
And sometimes you can't heal properly around certain people. So you'll start the process, but you left a
First of
huge
all,
gap.
you can't heal in the same environment that broke you. That's first. You cannot heal in this. That's like me growing up in an abusive house or being married to an abuser, and but I'm trying to heal and I'm still with that abuser. That ain't gonna happen.
It can't happen. Yeah.
Mm-mm. You have
Because
to remove yourself.
you
Yeah.
have to remove yourself mentally, emotionally, and sometimes you got to remove yourself physically.
Yep. Not just checking out mentally. You got to get up and go.
We talked a little bit about being the strong one in the family, being the
Mm-hmm.
one to keep everything together, being the
Mm-hmm.
peacemaker, being the glue to keep the boards from falling, the walls from tumbling down. And that's a heavy weight to carry, especially when you're
Yeah, it
not
is.
healed or even when you're healing. It's like you have to step outside of your own process to go and address things all the time.
No, you don't, because that's where boundaries come in.
There you go. And that's what I wanted to ask you, right? That's what I want to ask you. And you answered it, but I want you to go deeper into that because people hear boundaries and they're like, stop talking about this boundaries. And when you're dealing with family and you use the word boundaries, they're like, there's no boundaries with family. Yes, there is. And my sister Shanti is going to tell you why boundaries are important and why we need to
Mm,
put boundaries up and stay strong in them and how important it is to have your boundaries and how you can break free from that role of being the person, the go-to person, finding your own voice so you can speak up for yourself. Like you said in the beginning, say
yeah,
no. I'm not
no,
capable. I'm mentally not capable and I don't want to in order for
right?
you to heal.
Girl, I remember I was a recovering people pleaser, but the one person who I could never say no to was my mama.
Mm,
Like I felt like I had to do it just because she asked. No matter what it was, I would stop, drop, and roll, and go fix this, give this, buy this, send this, and but I was getting resentful about it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Why I gotta do it? And then I rationalized with myself. Oh, you're the oldest. That's why she keep asking you. No, it wasn't because I was the oldest. Because I was the only one saying yeah.
Exactly.
So the first time that I had to say no to her, I said, okay, I made the decision. Next time she asks for something, I'm gonna say no. And I did. I said no. But in the back, when we got off the phone, I was like, oh my God, I told my mama no. Oh, I'm going to hell. I can't believe I told her no. That's how it was. I really thought that, I was going to get struck down just for saying no.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
what it is, you know, that was just that one time because now I say no all the time without even blinking. So it's like, no. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to set boundaries are not a bad thing. Boundaries are, for you, so people know how to treat you, and so people can, some people will try to, step on your boundaries. They'll try to, kick that line down or whatever, but it's up to you, to stand up and be like, no, this is a boundary that I have set. And it empowers the person, it gives confidence, it increases your self-esteem, and it makes people know, no, this is what I will and will not accept. And if you can't adhere to my boundaries, then you got to go. But you have to stand on those boundaries. You can't just name them, you
Hmm.
know, and then the minute somebody cross them, oh, they didn't know no better. I give them another chance. Child, please. You heard me the first time when I said this is my boundary. And if you don't respect it, you got to go. It's very empowering. I'm quick to tell somebody, tell her ass no. Tell them no. Tell them no. And they be looking at me like I'm crazy. No, just tell them no.
Sure. I agree with that obligation, and I think that that is also a generational cycle that needs to be broken, is being a
Yeah,
people pleaser and
yeah.
feeling obligated. And if you say something, you feel guilty, you feel like, I'm gonna be cursed. I gotta call her back. I gotta say yes. Okay, let me figure out how I'm gonna do it.
Baby. Psh.
But it's okay to stand on your boundaries, like you said.
It
Took me a
is okay.
while to be able to say no. Even if I couldn't do it, I was saying yes and breaking my back to figure out a way to do it.
Yes. But then how did that make you feel?
It didn't make me feel good at
Used,
all.
resentful. And it's like, and the people, I always tell people, the people who get angry at your boundaries, those are the people that were using you.
Ooh,
Somebody who really cares about you, they're going to respect your boundaries.
right.
Yeah, they
I
were using
agree.
you. The
I
people that
agree.
get mad.
I agree. And what are some survival based behaviors that you think are crucial when it comes to breaking the generational cycles, unlearning, and how can we begin to prioritize our mental health, mental wellness in that process?
Start journaling. um, don't try to do it by yourself. A lot. Me, when I first realized something wasn't going right. I tried to fix it myself, and then didn't know what I was doing.
Hmm.
And the thing is that you need to be surrounded by community. You have to be, and your support system. I made the mistake of thinking my support system was my mama, my good girlfriend, my cousin, my sisters. It's not your support system. Your support system 9 times out of 10 is going to be someone you don't know, a stranger.
Hmm.
And that's a person who's been through what you've been through, but they've gotten a little farther ahead, and they're able to tell you, hey, I know what you're going through. This is what I did to overcome this. Maybe you should try this. Not someone that's going to say, well, girl, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Better you than me. Must be
Right.
nice. If you like it, I love it. That is not support
That's not support.
at
That is not
all.
support. Mm-mm. And that goes back to even having friendships where,
Ooh.
you know, we talk about this ride or die thing. And I think people got their lines a little bit blurred, because ride or die doesn't mean standing by me while I'm broken and doing toxic things.
And
Instead
amen
of,
in it.
and
Yeah.
amening it or saying, yes, sis,
Instead
I'm
of
gonna go blow up those windows with you. It's no, you're better than that.
no, exactly.
Because you
Exactly.
know,
And yes, we have those friends that'll be like, "Oh, girl, let's go. We going bust out his windows. We gonna show him who he playing with." That's not helping. That's not support.
it's not support. Because you know what they forget? You see, after you bust out the windows, after you get that little adrenaline rush and you feel good, what happens when your friend's at home, her lights are off, she's in her bed, you home alone by yourself with your thoughts?
Exactly. That is
You're
not going to
hurting.
help the situation. Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. So that's the
I'll
thing.
tell you a funny story when we talk about circles, because most of my friends, like, if we don't talk for weeks, months, there's no animosity. It's, hey, honey, how you been? I know you're busy with work. I know you're busy too. How are the kids? And we just pick up from where we left off.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
one
that's
time,
what me and my girlfriend are.
right? And a few
Yeah.
years ago, I had seen a quote on Instagram, and I mean, I liked it, but that was the old version of Janelle. And at the moment, I didn't realize what my friend was trying to say. And she seen it, and she DM'd me, and she's like, "Take that down. That's not you." And I'm like, "Huh?" So in my head, I'm
See?
like, "What do you mean that's not me? What do you mean?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm not
See?
doing anything wrong. I saw the quote and I liked it." And she's like, "That's not you. Take it down. You speak positive. You're always encouraging people. That's all your page has ever been about. That post comes off as negative. Take it down because it's not you. And I don't know you to be that person."
She told you.
You see, when she said that, Miss Aini, it a come down. And
Yeah,
I took it down because she was right. She recognized it.
that's the
And
kind of people you need in your
that's
life.
the kind of people you need, not the ones that are going to be like, okay, she put it up because she was mad at her boyfriend, or she put it up because her friend's moving funny. Scratch that.
Yes.
Where are the
Yes.
friends and the people in your corner that are going to say, that is not you? Do not allow somebody to tear you down and put you in a position or at a level that you do not belong, you graduated from, you elevated from, you healed from, and you're thriving from.
Exactly. Why would you even want to go back there?
Why would you want to
Yeah,
go back
you
there?
got tendencies, because baby.
Right?
But I have to keep telling my no, Shanti, that's not you. You don't do that anymore. That's
That's
over,
not
Shanti.
you.
Leave it where she at.
Right? Where the friends that are gonna snatch you up and be like, you listen, you're not her no more. You're a powerhouse woman. You're a best-selling author. You're a coach. You're an empowering woman. Nah, this is you today. You're not the old version.
You sure ain't, because the old version of Shanti wouldn't be doing none of this at all. I'll probably be one of the ones in your comments talking noise. So yeah.
You are healed and you are elevated and you are thriving.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what advice would you give to someone who's silently suffering or feels overwhelmed by their own responsibilities of breaking a generational cycle? They don't know where to start from. Um, Trying to heal while breaking the cycle.
Ooh, baby, that's hard. But it's worth it. And you deserve it. And you are powerful. You are strong. You are worthy, and you belong. So if you feeling that, I gotta break this curse, I gotta break this curse, you're not feeling it for nothing. You are chosen. You have to answer the call. Or else you're gonna keep hearing just like that net that's always flying around. You're gonna keep having that
Yeah.
until you answer the call. You can do it. And you don't have to do it by yourself. There are resources all around. But you have to, we're not gonna come to you. You gotta come to us. Nobody's gonna come knock on your door and say, "Hey, you look like you need to be healed." No, that don't work like that.
Right.
You have to advocate for yourself. You deserve that. You are worthy of that. So come on and let's go, sis.
Come on and let's go, sis. And
Yes.
not just for all women, but I want to sit on our Black sisters' hearts and sit on their chests tonight.
Hmm.
I want to rest upon their heart tonight, and I want you to rest upon their heart as well. And for our Black sisters that are tired of carrying this label as a strong Black woman, I got to be strong. I got to hold it together. Ain't nobody gonna wipe your tears. Wipe those tears yourself.
Right.
What could you pour into your sister tonight that's feeling like she's just tired of doing it alone? And she just wish somebody would just reach out and hug her.
Closed mouths don't get fed. If you need help, say so. If you are not okay, say so. If you need a hug, say so. We don't read minds. And that's one of the things I used to think was my problem. I used to think y'all could read my mind. People can't read your mind. You have to name it. That's the first step right there, naming it. What is it that you need? I need a hug. Come on, boo, let me give you a hug. I'll hug you for as long as you need. I need you to read me my rights and tell me I'm acting crazy. Okay, I can do that too. But you have to name it. You have to name what it is that you want. You have to be able to admit it to yourself. So again, it all goes back to being honest. You have to be honest with yourself. Name it and tell somebody. Of course, no, you can't just go tell anybody because, baby, you are no, you asking for it if you just go to somebody random. But be intentional about who you are going to and voicing your needs. You have to be very intentional about that because everybody doesn't mean you any good.
Right.
So you
And
have to, yes, you have to be intentional about who you're going to.
you know what? I can
Mm,
speak from experience.
mm,
So I can say I know it probably feels scary to reach out to somebody and tell them those thoughts that you're having. But
mm-hmm.
listen, you weren't just meant to survive, you were meant to live. Sorry.
Absolutely.
You were meant to live,
Yes.
and you were meant to live full
Yes.
and within yourself authentically and feel good about who you are.
Yeah.
Don't sacrifice the love for yourself to stay silent because you don't want to be judged.
Girl, please. Don't do that to yourself. Don't.
Right? Regardless whether you're doing good or bad or going through
People gonna
something or
talk.
healed,
People gonna say something. They're gonna make up something.
they
But
gonna
you,
make
you
up something, right?
yes, they
They
will.
gonna make up something.
Mhm.
And think about it this way. They talk about everybody. If you are a person that admires celebrities, how many celebrities are talked about on a regular, on a daily, and
Exactly.
scrutinized for the way they look,
Yes.
the things they're
24/7,
doing,
365. Yes.
right?
But they still live their lives,
They still live their lives,
Yeah.
and you need to live.
Yes.
So reach
Because
out.
yes, because we weren't put on this earth to struggle and
No, be
survive.
alone.
We were put on this earth to live beautiful lives, thriving, living, not, just day to day surviving. No, that's not fun.
And there are so many resources now. There are so
Exactly.
many resources for
You ain't got
us.
no excuse.
And
None.
listen, we have Shawnti Refuge here, who's not
Yes.
only a mental health coach, but she's a best-selling author.
Is.
She is a best-selling author. And her journals are worth it.
Yes, they are,
I'm waiting
actually.
for mine because listen, although you may be healed, there's still work to always do. You're growing. Allow yourself to grow.
Absolutely.
The journals that she has are for us, not just for herself.
No, they ain't for me. They for y'all.
They're for us to
Hmm.
heal as a community. We need
Yeah.
community. We need unity.
Yeah.
And can you share with the listeners today where they can number one, they need to get some of those guided journals. Y'all need to go
Yes.
get some, purchase it, because you will
Yes.
be filled. And listen, 2025, we're not going to 2026, not starting our healing journey or unhealed or carrying mess with us. So get those guided journals and her book and where they can reach out to you and join your group. Where can they find those resources from you?
ShawntiRefuge.com. There you will find my book. You will find my podcast, Quiet as Kept. Same name of the book, Quiet as Kept. Because you know, in our community, when you hear Quiet as Kept, that means don't tell nobody, but this is what happened. Yep, Quiet as Kept. I talk about things that we ain't supposed to be talking about per se, but I'm gonna talk about it. Guided journals. I have a library of guided journals, different topics. And if you don't see what you're looking for, let me know and I will make it for you. And I mean that because healing should not be a luxury. It is a necessity. We all need that. We all need these types of resources. So anything you want to know, anything you need, go to my website. If you don't see what you need, come holler at me and say, okay, Shawnti, I saw your website, but you don't have this. Hold on just a second. Let me go make it. I got you. When I say I got you, I mean it. I got you. And I don't have to know you to say I got you.
And healing is a personalized journey. It's yours.
Yes, it is. It's yours.
And she's making your journal personalized for you. You tell her what you
Yes.
need, and she will personalize it for you, tailored to you and your journal. Because healing is not a one size fit all.
It sure is not.
We all have
Yeah.
different paths, different routes to take, and you may have hiccups. So what? That's the whole
Oh,
part.
yeah.
That's the
You
best
gonna
part
have
is
it.
having the hiccups. That
Yes,
listen,
baby. You gonna
those
have
are
them.
yeah. And you talked about best kept, those silent things in our community. We're taught as a child, whatever happens in our house stays in our
Ooh,
house.
baby. That used to be my anthem. Don't you be
Listen,
telling nobody what's going on up in here. What
um,
goes on in the house stays in the house. That is
we're
so
breaking that cycle because it
yes.
is wrong.
Yes, it is
Especially think
definitely
about
wrong.
it for children who are in abusive households. Their parents may be struggling with postpartum depression,
Mm-hmm.
whatever mental illness that they're struggling with, and that child has to go home to that household. Just think about it. Think about your child and how you would do anything to give your child a brighter future.
Mm-hmm.
Create a life that we didn't have the opportunity to have, that we're working for our generations. We're working for
Yes.
not just our children, but the next after us.
Yes. And
So,
after them, and after yes.
so if we're telling them and we're continuing to soak that cycle of silence in the earth, how can they grow and how can they heal? If mom's going through something, but mom told me, don't call auntie and tell auntie my business because you know auntie don't like me and me and her don't get along.
Mm-hmm.
It's important for our children to know that they don't have to stay silent. And it's a
Nope.
lie. It's
Yeah.
not best kept. Your secrets aren't best kept. They're best told so we can heal and grow and
Mm-hmm.
become the women and men that we're supposed to be, especially our children. Shawnti Refuge didn't just choose to heal,
No, I did not.
she chose to be a cornerstone
Mm-hmm.
for a generation now and generations to come because I think we forgot that children are the future. And if we're
Yeah.
not demonstrating to them how we heal, how we join as one, as a community,
Mm-hmm.
to uplift and be there for each other and stop laughing and tearing down and pulling out these phones and videotaping rather than
Everything.
rather than pulling each other aside and just giving a hug and saying, I understand, we're going to get through it. How do they pivot? Shanti Refuge is here to stay and help,
Is
here to stay and help us heal and learn how to do our guided journals because this community needs to be healed. This community
yes.
needs to grow.
Yeah, we do.
And she's here to help us do that. And I encourage you guys, listen, I'm going to check. You guys go visit her website, ShawntiRefuge.com. Go purchase a guided journal. If it's not there, something that you're looking for, send her an email. Tell her
Mm-hmm.
what you're looking for. She'll make it in a blink of an eye
Yeah.
because she's also fast
I,
at that. Her
yeah.
brain works like clockwork. She's
Yeah.
amazing. Reach
Yeah.
out, listen to her podcast, support her podcast. Guys,
Yeah.
if you need coaching, if you're going through something, reach out to her. And if she's not able to help, she will guide you to somebody else who can.
Yeah, I definitely will.
I know that you are truly here and your heart is big for people.
It is.
What message would you like to leave to our listeners today? And what would you want them to remember as they continue to go through their journey?
First and foremost, you deserve healing, no matter, where it comes from in a good way. You deserve that for yourself. It's not for anybody else. Healing is for you. It is for you. You are worthy of it. You deserve it. So take advantage of that and advocate for yourself. You don't have, if you're unhappy with your situation, it's up to you to change it. Nobody's going to change it for you. But you have to start with self. You have to go deep inside. And if you need help doing that, there are resources available to help you do that.
Reach out to her, guys. Shawnti Refuge, www.shantirefuge.com. I am your
Yeah.
spokesperson. I love you, and
I
I
love
can't
you.
wait to
Thank you.
see what else you have in stores. Um, whatever it is, do you have any events coming up? Any new books that we should look out for?
Well, I have a Mothering in the Dark book that is in the planning stages right now. And it's going to
Hey,
be about, being estranged from your adult child. I have some other events that's in the works, but I can't say what they are right now. But it's coming,
okay.
coming
We'll
soon.
look out for it. We'll look out for it on the website, social media. We'll keep an eye out for it.
Yes. Yes. When I'm given the okay to say what it is, then I will say what it is.
Awesome. Shanti, thank you
Yes.
so much for joining me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much
me.
for taking the time to share your story
Thank you.
and be the person that's standing in the gaps
Thank
and
you.
owning it because we need you.
Thank you so much. Oh, that made my heart flutter. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
It was a blessing having you on this platform. Honestly, you gracing it, it will be memorable. And I know that it will touch somebody's heart tonight, today, wherever they are in the world. It will bless them.
Thank you. I hope it does.